I'm gonna actually give some legitimate pick here. The Titans are gonna
Okay.
smoke the Texans because they have Bill
Bill
O'Brien.
Belichick.
Yeah, well, they have Bill O'Brien
They
who
wish.
is meh meh, and the Titans are hot. They are going to crap in the frickin' Texan soup and beat them.
Why is
Crap
it
in their
soup?
soup. Wow. I've
Texas
heard of
is
shit
not
in your cereal,
soup.
but crap in your soup.
If anything, it'd be like ribs or barbecue or
That's some
like
serious Campbell's Chunky.
I know.
Yeah.
He ate Taco
45
Bell the night before.
45-24, Titans smashed the Texans. Send
All
them
right.
wallering home with Bill O'Brien, who's Mr. Yeah.
I got three
Moving
of them
on.
this week with AJ Brown, D Train, and Tannehill, all in fantasy lineup.
You're riding the Tennessee train this week. You have a lot invested in that. Yeah, might as well. I mean, this is a Fantasy Files pregame show. We might as well dig a little bit into who we think is going to do well in fantasy this week.
I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm not happy. We have a double matchup. Like there should have just been a button I could have pushed that said, "All right, I'm done." Because he's like, I can't score 220 points to beat him in 1 week. Like it's not going to happen. Why do I have
Only
to
if you
get
got the Titans
tortured?
triplets.
No, that's not going to. Dave, you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to get smashed this week because you're overconfident, just like I was last week, and none of your guys are going to show up. We're all going to be wrong about these, and they'll all break their legs or some shit in the first quarter. It's just terrible. Fantasy's hard. Yes, it's hard.
I don't think there's anyone you have to sit in this game, guys. The only question for me is, let's say you had both Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde. Which one would you start?
Against Titans defense, they are known to give up some rushing, so I would go with Carlos.
Okay. Yeah, Carlos has actually been much better at home this year than on the road. It seems like the Texans are usually able to milk that lead. But, yeah, like I said, really no one in a game that's anticipated 51 points that you should not start. Moving on to a battle in the NFC, guys. We have the banged-up Seattle Seahawks traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Currently, the Panthers are 6-point underdogs. Even at home, the Seahawks are projected to win this one. I'm assuming that has a lot to do with the skid Kyle Allen has been on recently. But listen, for the Seahawks, Jadeveon Clowney is going to miss this game, as well as Michael Kendricks and running back Rashad Penny. So they're not coming into this one with a full deck of cards at all. Meanwhile, on the Panthers side of the ball, Greg Olsen is going to be out. So is left tackle Greg Little. Defensive end Marquise Haynes also out. And linebacker Mario Addison, who is somewhat important to this team, questionable with a chest injury. Guys, all that being said, CMC is always dangerous. You're never going to sit him. I love DJ Moore in this matchup. He's been very highly ranked by many of the fantasy analysts around the world, so to speak, the fantasy world, that is. And they're at home, so I'm a little surprised the Seahawks are favored by this much, but I'll still take Russell Wilson and the Seahawks to get it done. Panthers have bottom 5 rush defense in the league, so if you combine Chris Carson with Russell, I think the Seahawks get it done.
Yeah, that's going to be bad today. I think Seattle's going to win by double. I think they're going to probably win probably almost 16, 17-point spread. I think it's not going to be close.
Now, the last thing I will say, fantasy-wise, Seattle has been known to give up tight end points throughout the season.
Greg Olsen is out. Ian Thomas
scored a touchdown last week. He is not a bad play. You could do much worse than Ian Thomas going into this matchup. Oh, I shouldn't say much worse, but you certainly can do worse. I'd rather have Ian Thomas than Darren Fells for the Texans. The spread is 6
points. He just said
it. 6 points in the favor of the Seahawks. The road team is favored in this one.
So they're on the road. It's the Seahawks, who everybody's overvaluing because they're enamored with the fact that they're winning, but they don't look at it the way I look at it. They have this propensity, like a lot of other teams with Russell Wilson, to have these goofy games you can't explain where other teams you don't think should beat them. They
just had it against LA.
Takes 1 or 2 plays. LA is in their division. It does not count. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about outside of the division. Division games, that division, I've said it 1,000 times, they eat each other alive. They're just like the NFC North. It's a good division. Panthers pull this one out 28-27.
Nice.
Couple of turnovers turn this game on its head.
Moving into a much anticipated matchup across conferences that I know everyone is waiting to see. Eli Manning and the boys at home taking on Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Miami Dolphins. This one's going to be a barn burner, guys.
This is You've got an
over-under of 46 points. The Giants are currently favored by 3. As far as injuries go, the Giants are actually fairly healthy coming into this game, obviously minus Daniel Jones, but all 3 wide receivers. You have Shepard, you have Golden
Ingram's out, Rhett Ellison's out.
Yes, 2 tight ends are out, all 3
Zeitler,
wide receivers in, Barkley's
starting
in.
Guard.
Got 2 turntables and a tight end phone.
For the Dolphins, Devontae Parker making his return from the concussion. Albert Wilson is also going to play. This is kind of a tough one for me. I can't wait to see these veteran quarterbacks go back and forth. It's kind of a toss-up, so I'll just take the home team that I currently think is more talented. I'll take the Giants to win this one. And I'll even take them to cover. Giants favored by 3.
Okie dokie. Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, I was clearing my lungs.
That's not allowed here. Just speak.
Yeah. Listen. Why are you so ruly today? I feel like there's a dictatorship today. I don't like.
There must be some sort of thing you got to show up for first at church to get it today. He wants to be first in line.
I gotta get the communion cracker.
We had communion the first Sunday of every month. You would know that if you ever went to church. And if you went to church, you would be able to save your soul just a little bit so that when you were being a bad guy, you at least thought there was some glimmer of hope there that maybe when you got killed by a Mack truck when you were in your mid-40s, you would be going somewhere that didn't burn for eternity.
Dang.
No, man, I party with the devil. He's a good dude.
Get burned, literally.
No, sorry. I don't go to a corrupt thing on the planet. My bad. No, you know what, though? I'm taking the Dolphins with Parker and Wilson. I got to take Ryan Fitzmagic today.
Real quick, let me go back to that the Texans matchup because it brings about a running back question I want to raise. Patrick Laird is basically the go-to option at running back for the Dolphins. Would you rather roll out Patrick Laird or choose between Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde?
Carlos Hyde.
All right.
No thanks. Sorry.
Hello.
Fair enough. Jay, who do you like in this game?
I live in a van down by the river.
I'm taking the Dolphins 21-17.
Nice. Moving into a battle in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock traveling to Kansas City, Missouri, take on Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid and all the boys. This one, we haven't really talked about the weather yet all day, guys, because most of these games are pretty clear. This one's supposed to be a foggy game, so I'm not sure if it's going to be a fog bowl per se, but
They're saying snow's going to happen during this game. Awesome. You know what happens when snow's on the ground? LaShawn McCoy performs. 150-yard day, 2 touchdowns. Shady McCoy going back to his younger days.
For the Broncos, mostly defensively affected by injuries, Adam Gotsis and DeMarcus Walker are going to miss this game. Noah Fant was questionable coming into it with his hip/foot injury, but he is expected to play today. On the Chiefs side of the ball, they are missing Damian Williams, he's going to be out. Frank Clark is also battling an illness/shoulder injury.
They said he's supposed to play. That's what Ian Rappaport said this morning.
So that being said, we've got a fairly high over-under here. The Chiefs are favored by 10, 44.5 point over-under. I will take the home team, the more talented team with the better quarterback. That is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Drew Lock's going to get very upset at you this week.
Well, lock it in.
Oh, you can switch your pick? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not going to switch my pick. I'm not sure about the 10-point spread, though. That seems a little high, but I think they can cover.
Because Mahomes hasn't really been a barn burner lately. Really, he's had 1 or 2 TDs a week, not the usual 3 to 5 that we're used to seeing. And the Denver defense isn't a slouch. The reason why they've lost a lot of games was because of their offense this season. Their defense was actually ranked pretty high for most of the season. I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking Denver, 30-27 in Kansas City. Shady does have a day, though. Why is he rocking? Hey, Rain Man, calm down. Jesus. Kmart sucks. Like, literally, he was sitting there rocking like he was about to have an anxiety attack.
Oh, I saw him.
28-24, Broncos take this one. Bada bing, bada boom. Call it a doom.
No one I'm really too afraid to start in this game. I know Tyreek Hill has the Chris Harris matchup, but he's overcome that before. Scored a touchdown the first time these teams met this season, so I'm not worried about Tyreek. I'm not playing any of the other receivers with confidence.
Okay, I have to say something about these guys. All my guys this week better score touchdowns and multiple touchdowns. They owe me because I want to win, and I want players that win because I want winners, damn it.
Damn it. Between LaShawn McCoy and Darwin Thompson, I would definitely take LaShawn McCoy. And then on the Denver side of the ball.
You take Shady in a snow game, always.
You take Shady. On the Denver side of the ball, Cortland Sutton is easily a flex play for me. He's even approaching the wide receiver 2
Don't
area.
Play Shady because even the sun covers up the shade every once in a while.
Not during snowfall. Not during snow.
Sometimes, do you know what happens during the snowfall? Guess what happens? Snow actually makes it brighter outside because it reflects the sun off. And they say if you're going to wear sunglasses, the optimal time that you actually should to protect your eyes is if you live in an environment where there's a lot of snow on the ground because it's actually brighter and harder on your eyes, the reflection of the sun off the snow. Therefore, in a snow game, there is less shade than anywhere else. So just because he's been good for before, sometimes the sun shines so bright there ain't no shade, so he ain't going to be no play.
That doesn't make any sense. You just gave
scientific
literally
fact.
If I had a clip of the the Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison rant of the guy saying everyone just got dumber from listening to that.
You don't need that. It says, sir, the incoherent rant you just went on made absolutely no sense. Everybody in this room is now stupider for listening to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Dave, I got to side with Jay on this one. The sun does get reflected by the snow, and it's much brighter.
X-Pac.
Now, let's talk about Phillip Lindsay, guys. Obviously, the formula when you're going to beat Kansas City is to try to get your running game going, to control the clock and keep it on the ground. That being said, the first matchup in Denver this season, Phillip Lindsay took 11 carries for 36 yards. Nothing I'm excited about. Moving into the next matchup, guys, I saved this 1 o'clock game for last because I know you guys want to dig into it a little deeper. The Chicago Bears traveling to Green Bay, Lambeau Field. There's going to be snow. It's going to be pretty damn cold today. But you know what? Both these teams are used to it. They play outside all year long at home, and they love it. That being said, the spread on this game is
4.5 for Green Bay.
4.5 points for Green Bay.
Everything, man.
Which is interesting. Originally opened at 7.5, so I'm not sure what happened between then and now to bump it down. Maybe it was something to do with the Bears.
Got activated at 3:30 yesterday.
Okay, Hicks is back in the lineup, so I guess that gives you a 3-point swing. 40.5 point over-under, guys. Mr. Trubisky, as we know, much better at home than on the road. This is not a game I'm looking to start. Mitch, Allen Robinson, you can definitely play. He's a fringe wide receiver 1, maybe even a wide receiver 2. David Montgomery, I'm not on his train. He hasn't really shown. I mean, he's had a few games here and there where a touchdown saved his day. Nothing you can really lean on heavily. He's kind of a flex play for me, fringe RB2.
He is a flex play this week if you don't have a better option because Green Bay's defense will give up the run. They are not designed – he's not going to run blitz. He's not going to key on running plays. They kind of stop the run on their way to smashing the quarterback and making you pass. They don't. This defense will give up yards. So if you don't have another option in a deep league or whatever, and you've got Montgomery, he is a flex play against this defense because this defense is designed to allow you to run the ball. I mean, if you look at they're averaging 122 yards given up per game on the ground. So